The year was 1888, 23 years after the end of the Civil War and 32 years before women won the right to vote. In Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, Florence Baldwin founded Miss Baldwin School for Girls to prepare them for Bryn Mawr College. By 1900, the school had grown to more than 100 boarding and day students and had moved to the Bryn Mawr Hotel, which the school later purchased in 1922. The school's mission of educating girls into thoughtful, independent, accomplished women who actively contribute to society has remained steadfast to the founding principles that Florence Baldwin established 125 years ago.
Today we celebrate 125 years of cherished traditions. Traditions such as Ring Day, Senior Blazers, class songs, and moving up. These rites of passage live on today just as many of you remember them from your past. So too does Baldwin's commitment to academic excellence. From our classrooms to the fields to the art and dance studios, Baldwin girls acquire the confidence that they will carry throughout their lives. This Baldwin experience is shared by more than 4,000 alumni spanning the globe in 48 states, 29 countries, and 6 continents.
Every time I come to Baldwin, the moment I drive through those gates, I get a big grin on my face. I'm really happy.
One of the wonderful things about the campus is that excellence is reflected in the actual bricks and mortar of the environment in which you're being educated.
When we walk around the campus, we see the beautiful buildings, but we also see all the memories that we made there. And in every spot of the building, something important has happened. So I'm just really gonna miss being right here.
Every morning when I drop my daughter off at Baldwin, I feel very overwhelmed with a lot of emotion, mostly just joy and nostalgia and excitement that she's here and she can feel the energy and the environment that I was so fortunate to grow up in.
It was, without question, the transformative, definitive year of my entire life. I owe so much of what I have become as a human being to that brief sojourn at this very special institution. I left the school with the sense that there was really very little I could not accomplish if I set my mind to it.
I was here from 1970 to 1975. Those were really seminal years in terms of so many revolutions that were occurring. Was the hotbed of feminism for women, and Baldwin, of course, was right on the bandwagon with that. I went on to work on Wall Street back in 1979 at a time when there really weren't very many women in banking at that time. And I remember feeling like the world was my oyster. And that was really because of my education at Baldwin.
So people go to the temple and there's lots of beautiful light displays. Sometimes they're really huge.
I graduated in 2001 from Baldwin. Now I'm here teaching Mandarin in the lower school, and I also live in the residence. These girls are so bright and so motivated, so creative, that's the future of Baldwin, is those little girls, and it is my pleasure and my honor to help instill in them those things that I learned at Baldwin.
Well, I think the hallmarks of Baldwin education are, for one thing, the very anniversary that we're celebrating. It's been here for 125 years. So in the late 1800s, the education was the best of what was available then. In the 1930s and 40s, it was the best. And I still think it's the best today. In every era, there have been wonderful teachers and wonderful staff members who have given their lives to educating these youngsters.
When I thought about where I wanted to start teaching, Baldwin was a really easy, instant first idea, because I was so happy here as a student. It's such a special place where I really feel that the students and the faculty and the community work together, and I love that about Baldwin.
One teacher that we have is Mrs. Amizin, and her daughter is actually in my grade, and her class has been my favorite class I think I've ever taken here. She definitely talks to the students as if we're equals, and we learn a lot from her.
And how equitable is that then if they get that sport removed, right?
Nash Cox. She was just so progressive and just so honest, and you know, it was English class, so we talked about everything. We talked about women's rights, and I mean, I think she helped us figure out what type of women we wanted to be.
We really have a unique opportunity here to educate our girls about what happens beyond the suburbs of Philadelphia, and I think that's a unique aspect of the school, and I think it is unique compared to other options that folks have in this area.
What we're trying to teach them is that there's incredible opportunities out there, and that if they can imagine it, they can do it.
If you teach him to read, there will be no stopping him. An all-girls education is still relevant because girls still have that sense when they are in co-ed classrooms of being second-class citizens. That doesn't happen here. At Baldwin, girls do everything.
A Baldwin woman is independent, hardworking, looking ahead for possibilities for themselves and for service. And I read the alumni magazine and just marvel at the things the girls who graduate from here are doing or have done. It's unbelievable.
Ready, 2, 3, go.
The traditions are definitely my favorite part about Baldwin. My favorite one is Ring Day, which is when we get our class rings, and we get to decorate the school according to whatever our grade chooses. So our grade chose Harry Potter as our theme. In 9th grade, we had Banner Day, which was another great tradition. In 11th grade, we had prom as well.
My favorite memory is probably singing the Big Fat Turkey song when I was in kindergarten, my first year, and now 13 years later I got to sing it again as a senior, and that was like really special to me.
Baldwin embraces its traditions, honors its traditions, but then also really welcomes the future.
They are women who are confident and clear in their view of themselves and the world and where they're going.
There's probably a good reason why I chose to go into obstetrics and gynecology. I only take care of women. There is a connection among girlfriends who go to a single-sex school that is unlike any connection that you can ever experience. And I have never made girlfriends like the women that I met at Baldwin. They are my sisters, and 2 of my friends have been my best friends since we were 7 years old.
I'm probably going to miss my friends the most because we're all so close and we're always there for each other. So I'm going to miss them mostly.
We gather every year at the beach. It's been up to 30 of us at one time coming from California. Somebody came from Paris last year. The lifetime of friendships, just it comes together and it's wonderful.
I had the kind of experience I had at Baldwin because the people who preceded me here had cared enough about the school to make sure that it had the resources to maintain that commitment to excellence. And I benefited from that, and I wanted to make very certain that I didn't climb into my pine box without doing something of note for the Baldwin School.
I just feel very grateful because 125 is a long time and a lot has changed in 125 years, and all the women who've graduated have changed the world and paved the way for us. So I'm excited to be able to pave the way for someone else now.
I am proud to call myself a Baldwin alum.
I believe that the education and the experience for young women here is second to none.
There's no other better investment we can make than in the education of our daughters, because the payback is infinite and will be there for the rest of their lives.
125 years after its modest beginning, all of us, including the class of 2024, honor those who have walked before us here in the hallowed halls of our beloved Baldwin.
We continue to do what the original vision was, to educate young women. We do it well, and the young women we educate come out better for having been here.
Happy 125th Baldwin!